Hi there, Lana here. Did you know that there's a difference between what feels normal and what feels natural? And let me explain. So when I was a little girl, one of my grandfathers said to me in a conversation, Lana, someday maybe you could be a secretary too. And I remember thinking at the time, now why would I want to be a secretary if I could be a boss? Nothing wrong with being a secretary, but I was curious about that imposed expectation that I would be the secretary, not the boss. Flash forward a few more years, and I remember being at the dentist. And I remember the dentist saying to me, Lana, someday maybe you could be a hygienist. And again, I had the same thought. I had the thought, why do I want to be a hygienist when I could be a dentist? Again, I could feel these limitations on me that were from the outside, not from within me. And I also thought, I don't want to be a dentist. And then I remember a few more years later, as I was getting a little bit older, but I was still young, I remember an optometrist checking my eyes and saying to me, Lana, one day maybe you could assist an optometrist. And again, I thought, what is it with all these guys trying to limit what I could be or even choose for me what I could be? But I remember also thinking, isn't that interesting? That's the norm for them, that this idea of what a woman could be in her life. It was normal to think that the woman would be as an assistant in some capacity in her job. Now, what's interesting is, even though that was the norm, that is what society accepted as normal, what was natural to me felt very different. What was natural to me was that I had no limitations. There were no limitations on me. Whatever I wanted to be, why couldn't I be that? Why was the norm going to dictate to me what seemed natural, in that I had no limitations? But what's interesting is that as a society, we tend to expand what is normal, what seems normal, and as we expand those limitations of what is normal, we tend to get a little closer to what is natural. And what is natural to me is those innate qualities that I've talked about time and time again. These innate qualities of being unlimited, being creative, being confident, being full of compassion and contentment and peace and love and resiliency. As we begin to expand our ideas of norms, doesn't it seem like we get a little closer to who or what our core essence really is? So if you look at, for example, the Me Too movement, we once again saw a stretching of the norms of what is okay behavior. And we're also seeing, hey, that's not acceptable. And in rejecting what the old norm was, we're coming back closer to what is actually natural to us, which is to love, which is to accept, which is to have compassion for another, which is to respect and treat another person as we would want to be treated, because in truth, we are all connected. Now we're seeing the same thing happening again with Black Lives Matter. This is something where, for so many people, particularly people who are white, we didn't see the systemic racism that was so embedded in our institutions because they were the norm. So we didn't see it. But we're now confronted with looking at these norms, at what we considered normal, and expanding that to say, no, that may be the norm, but that is not reflective of what is natural for all of us. What is our nature, our true nature, which is love and compassion and acceptance and resiliency and humanity. That is what is natural to all of us. When you take away all the limitations of all the norms, and all the norms are our belief systems, our thoughts that we have thought over and over again until we create a concept of what is acceptable in our society. What I love about when I reflect back from when I was a kid to now, I see all these norms that were considered normal for society, all these norms being expanded and broken and just evaporating as we come closer to what is true of our nature. And as more and more people wake up to their true nature, we're going to see a lot of these norms that we thought were just normal. We're going to see them for what they are, a reflection of what is not really our nature. Because our nature is to love one another. Our nature is to bring everybody up. Our nature is to realize the connectedness of all of us. And in doing so, everybody rises. Everybody holds each other with the awe and the respect and the gratitude and the reverence for life. That's how we heal the world. That's how we distinguish between normal and natural. Hi there, don't forget to subscribe and like.